Hi, I'm Rich with Inside Big Data, and we're here in Boulder, Colorado, and I'm here with Molly Rector from Spectra Logic. Welcome, Molly.
Well, thank you. Good to see you.
Well, thanks for hosting us this week here at the Spectra Summit, but I wanted to ask you about, you rolled out something big. It's a new vision, and it's called deep storage. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So Spectra's vision that's been years in the works has been looking at how can we bring together the lowest cost storage tier, which today is tape. It may be something else in the future, but make it more accessible to a broader application set. That one of the limitations we've seen with tape storage systems in the last few years is a lot of new development applications are thinking about new interfaces, cloud type interfaces, RESTful interfaces to storage, and none of those have been able to speak directly to tape. And so what we've introduced is the deep storage tier that is based on highly economical, power efficient, scalable storage with RESTful interfaces to make it much more easy for applications to tie into a new tier of storage.
So you're not changing the underlying layer, which is the tape devices you guys are known for, right? You're making it easier to get at it through a web interface, is that?
Exactly. Yeah, tying it into web infrastructures and web applications.
And here, I didn't realize this, but someone during the talk said, you know, you use RESTful. Every time I post a picture to Facebook, I'm using a RESTful interface, and I don't need to know FTP commands or anything. It just does that. So this is congratulations on that. I did want to ask you about something that came up that I thought was pretty astonishing. It was the idea of using Hadoop with tape, and I had never heard those two together. What's that about?
Yeah, that was part of the announcement that we had this week was leveraging the deep storage vision and starting to talk about, so you've got cost-effective storage available over web type interfaces. What kind of markets will use this kind of technology? And one of the really interesting new markets that we see for this is the Hadoop environment. And right now, Hadoop doesn't have the concept of tiering built into it. And so you wouldn't have heard about it because Hadoop doesn't tier. Everything's in the cluster in a single tier. And what we announced was the capability to now archive data out of Hadoop into the tape storage by using one of our deep storage client applications that we wrote.
Okay, so but immediate, questions come to mind like, well, isn't tape too slow? I mean, that's why Hadoop works like it does, because you make it with local disk and you replicate everywhere.
Yeah, it's a good question. So tape is really designed to be sequentially accessed. So there's some intelligence in there between Hadoop and us and the tape storage, which is our BlackPearl appliance. And what that is SSD caching, so that actually Hadoop is going to be sending commands to the SSD cache, and then the SSD cache has some intelligence built in to stream the tape once we have enough data to move it to the tape.
Okay, so that sits between the storage archive, the storage robot,
yeah,
and the Hadoop, and you have this SSD caching device. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so who do you think is going to be, when we talk about a Hadoop mark, who's going to be the people that would be first movers, take advantage of something like this?
So we fortunately have probably the best initial adopter of the Hadoop client, as well as our deep storage infrastructure being Yahoo, and had them here at the event, as you know, this week, with them talking to the different areas in their environment, which of course Yahoo does a lot other than Hadoop, but they're the initial innovator around Hadoop. And they see applications of being able to take a single deep storage system and have it shared across Flickr Content Archive, Hadoop Archive. Very interesting way to now have a web company able to access deep storage in a lot of different ways.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, the folks at Yahoo invented Hadoop, and they're kind of coming to you saying, hey, this is something we need. And was it a customer-driven kind of technology?
The Hadoop client in particular was Yahoo-driven. And a lot of the concepts around how they'd like to use deep storage within a web service environment, they've given us a lot of good ideas. They've been working on this with us for a couple of years.
Okay. So for our big data audience out there, Molly, what's the call to action? I mean, is this something you can kick the tires on, or where does it sit today?
Sure. So the systems, the BlackPearl appliance that has the smarts around the SSD caching to tape is in beta today, and we're still looking for a couple more betas. So if you're a real tire kicker, then yes. The DS3 interface, which is the new interface technology that we've introduced, that is taking standard S3 and adding a few extra commands to it to make it optimized for bulk data movement to deep storage. That interface, the development program, is available now, so anyone who wants to start looking at DS3 clients can start that today. and will be general availability in January.